So, I hope most things are fairly intuitive, and this is off the indicators on that side.
I'm really nervous, really nervous. Good morning everyone, today is day 473 in my RS. Mileage at the moment is, what's the mileage, Pete?
17,367.
17,367. Again today, as in my video from a few weeks ago or a couple of months ago, I'm in the passenger seat again because Pete's having a drive of the RS. Pete is a long time, how long have you had it?
6.5 years.
Okay, yeah. 6.5 year owner of a Mark II Focus RS. So today, we've been trying to do this for about 12 months now. Way too long. Today we're swapping cars. Pete's having a go in this thing, and once we've had a bit of a blast around the Sussex Downs, as we're about to do, just heading up the hill past Goodwood horse racing course. After that, I'm going to get a go in his RS, and he said previously, I hope this is the case, but you want me to properly drive it, don't you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Why not?
I'm really looking forward to that. I've never driven a front wheel drive car with a front differential before, so it's going to be really interesting to see that. I want to hear this 5-cylinder engine that everyone keeps going on about. The Mark II sounds so much better. It certainly looks better. We were filming earlier in the paddock, and yeah, it's a very aggressive looking thing, your car, isn't it?
Really nice.
Very aggressive looking thing. The arches, the vents. When we drove into the circuit this morning with Pete behind me looking in the rearview mirror, yeah, there's some presence there that, yeah, I think this has some, but it's not quite, you know, of the same level in terms of its aggressive looks as the Mark II. But for now, Pete's driving the RS.
I've got a grin on my face, so that says it all, I think.
So immediate impressions then. All we've done so far is drive out of Goodwood, and we've driven a mile up the hill. So this is exactly standard, Pete. You know, you're feeling it as you should do. There's nothing I've done to it to change it. What do you think?
It's just, like I say, I'll say it again, it's a completely different car. It feels a lot more, I wouldn't say refined, but you can tell the age difference is huge. My car's 9 years old, or just, yeah, it's 9 years old now.
Had it 9 years now, wow.
Well,
oh no, you've not had it for 9 years.
I've had it for 6.5 years, and yeah, and it's come up to 9 years, and it's, yeah, it definitely feels a lot older, but I think that sort of age gap in those cars is very noticeable, but with any car I think they'll be the same.
Yeah,
but
I'm looking forward to seeing what yours feels like when I get behind the wheel, to see if it does feel, I mean, visually it's going to look a bit older, I think, you know, we can all agree on that. Visually it's going to feel different. In the interior, yeah, they are quite different things inside.
Just there's a lot more sort of quicks and you know, just sort of interior movement, I think, in my car.
Okay, okay.
To see what it's like in the different drive settings or different driving modes that
what in this
car. Yeah, just to see if there's any difference in the noises, interior, and the exterior.
So we're in normal mode at the moment. Okay. Just letting Pete get to grips with it.
Feels perfectly.
How does the ride compare with yours? Because I've never ever, I've sat in Pete's stationary. I have never been in a Mark II Focus RS, so I have no idea what to expect. What's the ride like?
I'd say, obviously, there's no drive settings in the Mark II, so what you get is what you know is what you experienced all the time. But right now, in the normal setting, it's perfectly comfortable. I think very reasonable and quite perfectly adequate for.
How does it compare to your car though? Do you think it's a bit busier, a bit firmer, or is it kind of broadly the same?
Huge amount of difference in it actually. I'd set up and the way it's designed. But again, it's something I've got used to in the Mark II. And as I said before, what you see is what you get with the Mark II. There's nothing to play around with really, apart from just turning off the traction control.
Traction control. What I didn't realise until I did a bit of research last night and this morning before I headed out. I actually couldn't sleep that much last night. I woke up at 5:30 this morning, and then I was so excited about driving your car today that I just got up super early, which is why I texted you half an hour before we were meant to meet.
Sure, yeah.
So research, yeah, there's power differences between the two cars.
Definitely.
50 horsepower or thereabouts, 45 PS actually, probably about 44, 43 horsepower standard. Only 25 pounds-foot of torque difference, 130 kilos. What I didn't realise was that they both wear the exact same size of rubber. They're both 235 19s with a 35 profile. So certainly the tyre is nothing contributing to how the ride feels different, because they both wear exactly the same size rubber. I think the rims on your car are half an inch wider. They're 8.5 inches wide, whereas they're 8 on this.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact number, it's probably about there, yeah.
But that surprised me that actually they didn't. What I wasn't expecting was that your car would have the exact same rubber on as this. Right, Pete, as I said earlier, treat this as if it's your own car. So if you really want to bring its neck, just give it the beans. Seriously, really want you to feel it. But we'll stay in normal mode for a bit.
Sure. It's definitely a nice sort of guttural sound there, isn't it?
The noise, yeah. Well, that's all artificial. It's through the speakers.
I definitely noticed it. Coming from the speaker down there is on the right, but it's
it gives it a bit of an offbeat kind of warble. I think they're maybe trying to make it sound a bit like the 5-cylinder. It doesn't really sound like a 4-pot inside with that fake engine.
No, it doesn't. No, definitely not. There's a nice feel on the pedals, on the brakes as well. It's just very easy. It's very.
It's very progressive. The brake pedal, I've found, it's quite soft. You don't just hit a wall, which I always used to like with braided lines on my Clio. But in this, it's kind of, it does move as you apply the pressure. It does get to a point where it won't go any further, but it's quite smooth and it's a nice feel under your foot.
I mean, drawing a bit of a comparison here, there's the throttle response is very, I would say, it's quite refined and quite linear, I'd say, in here. With mine, it's very much, it's quite a bit more of a crude sort of throttle map, I'd suggest, in mine.
Is this the lag?
It may be, but I think also just the way it delivers its power. It's
okay. So you're in third gear. We're just about to go into a national speed limit. So put your foot down. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. In normal mode. So they do pop.
Yeah, definitely very different throttle response, and it's great. Yeah, but I think the Mark II feels a bit more sort of. A bit more crude in the way it delivers its power. It's either on or off. I think this one feels a little bit more refined, but in a good way.
So would you say a bit more of an event in your car?
Possibly, yeah. But I think again maybe that's an age thing as well. The way it was just.
I was just thinking, was that the road we should have gone down?
We can actually turn right. If
yeah,
okay. Go back around, but got carried away.
Yeah, no, of course. Well, nice roads. So yeah, a bit more of a. I can see why people rave about the Mark II so much, saying that it's more of an event, it's more of a thing. This is just a focus, but with 4-wheel drive and some stupid drift mode and the ability to get crossed up coming out of corners and out of roundabouts. So it is a bit of a lunatic, but visually and audially, is that the word? No. Audibly,
that sounds better.
Audibly, that's it. Visually and audibly, just doesn't do what the Mark II does. Have you ever taken yours on track?
I have, yes. First track I did it was Thruxton, and was probably within a year of getting it.
Okay.
Or thereabouts, and it was in the middle of winter, quite a cold day, but it was good fun. And that's what opened up my eyes to what actually it could do when you really, really want to play with it.
I learned so much about this a couple of months ago. Really did.
I think you've got to with these cars. It's what they're meant to do, really, in the day.
You have to take it on track. If you've got an RS and you haven't taken it on track at least once, I think that's a crime.
Yeah, you're missing it.
I think that's a crime, because you've got no idea what these cars are capable of unless you at least get close to the limits. You have to, just tiptoe up gently. You don't have to go and, do stupid things in it. But unless you can, give them free rein and just let them, run free, you don't appreciate what they're capable of doing. You really don't.
Let them run free. It sounds like it's the kindest thing to do.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
I think this thing absolutely loved the fact that I took it around Goodwood and spanked it.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like it's what it deserves. Ford put all that effort into the rear drive unit, the four-wheel drive, the fake pops and bangs. What better way to appreciate a car than using that, using everything it's capable of doing as intended. Right, let's go into sport mode. So sport mode will sharpen the throttle up. Don't know if you feel it.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a bit more noisy in terms of the pops and bangs. So, like I say, don't be shy.
Ease off a little bit, let them clear.
Yeah, no, fine. Don't be shy though, Pete. Do drive it hard, drive it properly. This corner up here, okay, the right hand turn. Once you get turned in, put your foot on the throttle and keep it there.
Okay.
So go now. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. I'd actually say you'd feel it even more if you did it in second gear, like here. So just floor it all the way around. You don't have to worry about that traction. Oh, that's better. Oh yes, keep it going. So you got 3 there as you lifted off. So does that feel quick compared to your car?
Yes, but in a different way, I'd say.
This is what I'm really looking forward to trying.
It's just such a different power delivery because yours is so. Maybe it's just the way I'm applying the throttle, but it's just so a lot more linear.
Yes.
Whereas mine is almost like not a stage process, but it's you get the initial sort of bump as the turbo spins up, then you get almost like a second stage to it.
Okay.
But it's just very different. Yeah. It's just what you think. But this is such a nice. Yeah, just the way it does it is so nice. It feels right.
Boot in now. See, you waited. You could have had full throttle all the way around there, and it just keeps pulling you round. But it takes a while to. It really does take a while to get used to it.
Yeah. You'll find that corner so different in my car.
I know. I'm sure I will.
What was one of what we like with the artificial noise being piped in comparison to the way that the Mark II sounds. Obviously, that's got the Symposer.
Yours has a Symposer, which is that resonator diaphragm thing, isn't it? The same as I had on my Fiesta.
And I was a little bit sceptical about the artificial noise, but it suits this car to a T. I think it sounds.
Put it into third gear and give it a bit of load going up this hill. It's all right, isn't it? But yeah, the pops and bangs finish it off. I like it. I really like the noise.
It is a nice sound.
More than a few people have told me it's really easy to disable the fake engine noise now just by hooking something up through the ODP port, some piece of software, flick a switch, turn it off, and they're saying, why don't you do it? Why don't you try it? Well, I like the noise. I actually like it. So no, I'm not turning it off. Plus, I want to keep this standard, completely standard. I proved recently it doesn't need any more power. Yeah, maybe if you're used to a Mark II Focus RS with that wallop in the back and everything else, which again I really wanted to feel, then you might feel the need to go and do that. But in terms of getting down the road and certainly on track, this has more than enough to break traction in the dry at any speed. Get it turned in and then give it a squeeze. Okay, go now. No, but you can kind of feel it, and there was a bit when you backed off. If you'd kept going and were smooth, a bit more now. See, you still got your front wheel drive nerves. I can feel that there's that hesitancy because you're expecting to get understeer.
Yeah, I'm still backing off there.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, yeah, we had this car in front. Go around a couple more times.
Yeah,
okay, so
I'll do one more then.
fine, okay. That was definitely pushing. But that was it was pushing it from the back outside wheel.
Should we go back down that way? Or?
No, just head back up there now.
It's such a clever system.
It is a really clever system. It is a really clever system. There we go. Traction. Jeez. So this is with all safety systems engaged.
Yep.
Okay. Just takes off a bit. That wasn't very good. I went in a bit too hot, so we were on the steering first.
Sure. Oh yeah, you can feel it definitely there. Crikey.
And one more as we come out here. So you can feel it just pushing the
Yeah,
back of the
definitely.
car.
It's just holds it there, so it drives it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's about, isn't it? Each,
Yeah. So
yeah.
you have experienced the USP of the RS
Indeed.
there, in that it goes sideways on the throttle if you want it to, and that was with everything engaged. So it was quite abruptly saying, go on, floor it in first, now to the floor. Just traction. There you go. Yeah, that's the USP of the Focus, the ability to just get the back of the car moving. That was with everything engaged.
Yep.
It still allows quite a bit of movement, you know. Haven't driven an Audi. If anyone out there's got an RS3, or anyone's got an AMG A45 and is happy to let me have a go, please let me know, because I'd love to. I want to see how. I'd love to see how they kind of intervene, because this lets you have fun before it steps in.
Indeed, yeah.
And that was, if we went offer mode in the traction, it would allow more slip of the wheels and a lot more yaw of the body. So we're heading back to Goodwood now, about 5 minutes out. Going to get to have a go in the Mark II shortly. So can't wait for that. Can't wait for that. So Pete, what do you think? What do you take away from this?
Well, firstly, thanks for giving me the opportunity to do it. I think it's obviously I've experienced it very briefly before, but not to the extent that we've done today. And
you're
it's such a capable car, and I think it's just taken all the good things about the Mark II and just breathe on a bit more, and you've got an even more capable car. They do their things in very, very different ways, obviously, as you'll see a bit later on, Mark.
Yeah.
I think it's
improved, but on all areas, perhaps apart from the looks and the noise.
Yeah, possibly, but I mean, they've got the reasons for changing those, and you could argue that's the way they've got to sell the cars, really.
Well, yeah,
but
global car.
But I still think they do look very good. It's been done really well, and I like it. Yeah. Again, I don't think I'd chop the Mark II in for one. If I bought one, it would definitely be an addition to the garage. Not that will ever happen anytime soon, but I think.
Do you think Ford have kept the RS spirit alive in this?
They have, yeah. And again, they've done it. They've taken it and essentially, I would say, modernised it.
To me, a big element of the kind of lunacy in the Mark II, from what I'm aware of so far, I'll find out when I drive it shortly, but a big element of that was in the way it looks and the way it sounds. This had to do without that, because it's a global car and it had to appeal to a much wider audience, but it's still got that lunacy element, and it's in the way it drives, and it's in that oversped rear axle. So yeah,
I think they've taken it and moved it on. You know,
indeed.
Again, when the Mark II RS first came out, it was a good few years ago now. And
so we just need to say to them as we pull in that we're here for the track day, and they'll let us go through to the paddock. Go on then. Boot it. There you go. problem, Pete. Glad you got to drive it.
Yeah, such good fun.
Right, let's go and have a go in that.
Indeed. Look forward to it.
Nice.
So, hopefully, I think most things are fairly intuitive, and this is obviously indicated on that side.
I'm really nervous. Really nervous. When I had my 172 Cup, this was one of the it was the pinnacle of hot hatches at the time. Of course, now I've got that over there with more horsepower and twice the driven wheels. Yeah, I'm a bit apprehensive, Pete, but yeah, let's give it a go. So we're going to follow the same route as we did earlier.
Yeah. Oh, so different being in this seat.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what your reaction is when I boot it, as well as my reaction. Oh, the handbrake. That's
it's not in a
it's not in a natural position.
Yeah.
This is immaculate. So let's talk about this car. So it's got 49,895 miles on it now. You've had it since it was 2.5 years old.
I had it since April 2012. Yeah, that's when I bought it. So.
It had 15,000 miles on it, so you've done 35,000 in it in 6 years?
6.5, nearly, yeah.
That's
so it's still fairly low. Yeah, it's not extensive.
Yeah, it's not fairly low.
The last couple of years.
Compared to the garage queens out there, it's a bit leggy, but it certainly doesn't feel it from here.
No.
You know, everything feels taut and very nice. Oh, I'm sorry to do this to your car. Drive it out in the rain.
It's inevitable. It's alright, it gets used daily now, so you know. It's
right, okay.
One of the inevitable.
Yeah, well, it happens, doesn't it? And look, as soon as we cross the top of the hill, it stops. Okay, so we've got some oil temperature. I'm just going to give it a little square and see what it's like now in terms of how the throttle responds and whether there's any lag. So we're at 2,000 RPM. I'm in third gear.
See, it does. Once the turbo spins up, then it goes.
Yes, and what I was really noticed then, a chatter and as the let-off.
Yep.
Have you done that? No, was that standard?
No, that's, it does have the mount-tuned resoak valve, so that might be partly to it. I'm pretty sure every serves right. It did do it before I had that as well. So
that sounds really nice.
Yeah. With
so as the car goes, this is a mount-tuned resoak valve.
Yep. Other than that, everything else is standard.
Mud flaps.
Yep. And the
painted brake calipers.
Yeah.
But apart from that, that's the only visual things.
Yep.
The resoak valve is the only mechanical things.
Yes.
And the ECU and everything else is completely stock. So this car is as Ford intended, really.
Great. Yeah, that's right.
So I'm getting the pure.
At some stage, you may
Focus
put the
RS experience.
I do still have the standard Ford resoak valve, which I might put back in there at some point, but only took it out because I thought it might have been failing or starting to fail because it's quite a weak.
They're a bit fragile, are they?
Yeah, but I've got a new one, so I might chuck it back in.
Oh, noise! Oh, okay, yeah, I get it.
It definitely goes once you.
It does.
But
it does.
These cars are torque limited in first and second.
Are they?
So yeah, it does hold it back a little bit. But once
so
you get in third,
it's got locking diff. It's got Revo knuckle. I think I read.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is some clever geometry.
No one knows how to explain. Yeah,
joints
I won't go there.
Things. I'm sure someone on the forum would be able to explain exactly how it does its thing. But that's meant to limit torque steer. Do you ever feel torque steer?
Yeah, I do a little bit, but nothing. Nothing you can't cope with. I mean, you expect it, so it's nothing that you can't deal with. You know, and it feels. I think it adds the character of the car actually. A little bit.
I know. I think so.
You can expect it as well. You're never going to eliminate it completely. I think because it's all that power through the front wheels.
So fourth gear, 2,000 RPM. Let's see what it picks up now. So I'm going to put my foot to the floor. Oh! Wow. Okay. That's quite. It is a bit laggy, isn't it? I think the boost threshold is much higher.
You feel it pick up.
If I try it in third gear at 40 miles an hour, we've got 3,000 RPM, so the turbo's spinning more already. Let me try this now. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, nice noise. That does sound nice.
Yeah, because once you've got that initial pickup on the throttle, then it surges, and then once the turbo starts speeding up a little bit more, it just absolutely flies.
It does feel to me, having spent just over a year and 17,000 miles in my current RS, and then 60,000 miles and 4 years in my Fiesta, both of which had pretty much nil lag and a really sharp throttle response. It does feel quite soft.
Yeah, do you see what I mean about where yours is? I think feels just that little bit more linear in terms of its delivery. It's constant. It's like a juggernaut all the way, but this one's a bit more sort of staged, a bit less refined.
There are some steps to it, and I can imagine. I can understand why everyone raves about them, especially if they've been tuned.
Yeah.
Because that kind of kick of the power as it comes in will be that much more pronounced.
Yeah.
And the rain comes down again. But that's okay, I've got a lock in front diff.
It's all good.
Okay, right, let's give it some second kick. Oh, yeah, traction there.
Yeah, it was...
Sorry about that,
That's all right. No.
But that was both wheels going, wasn't it? So
Yep.
the LSD didn't help me there. It's got enough power and torque to overwhelm it.
Sure. I think that it's just that little bit of rain as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's very slightly greasy.
We're a bit wet, a bit damp. Right. So yeah, second gear in even slightly damp conditions, you can't use full throttle.
Yeah.
And it's torque limited as well.
Exactly,
So you are a bit hampered, aren't you?
I think you have to sort of just feed it through the throttle.
Yeah.
Feed the throttle just a little
I
bit
guess
more.
that was me just putting my foot to the floor in second at low speed.
Seeing what it can do, isn't it? I think.
That little chatter, I wonder if the microphone's picking that up. I suspect it's not, but that sounds proper rally
It
car.
does, yeah.
Oh, and again.
I think the resoak valve does help it a little bit, because I'm pretty sure you notice it more anyway with the standard Ford one.
Right.
So, see what I mean about what do you think about the throttle delivery response to it? It's a bit on and off, isn't it?
It is sharp like that, but if I... Oh, do you know what? Actually, once you're above 3k, I think it's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Once you get off the board,
when I was doing it earlier on, I was doing it at 2k, and I think that's probably below the boost threshold of the turbo.
Yeah.
So, as well as needing to build up, or waiting for the turbo to build up speed, you're also waiting for just the engine to start revving enough to be pushing enough gas to make the turbo build up speed. So I think, I wasn't really being fair to it there. But what I did then feel, of course, is that kind of is the lag. That is, as well as the delay in a bigger turbo spinning up, there's also the fact that you've got to get the revs up to be pushing enough volume of gas to spin it in the first place.
Sure, no, I'd say that, yeah.
I don't think I'd ever get tired of that.
No. Once you got it, it's
Yeah. And you drive this every day.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Think about all those people that have them in garages and have done a few hundred miles on it. What a waste. What a waste. Yeah, cars are for driving, paintings are for looking at. Oh, I felt the diff then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could feel. I felt something go on, but then it kind of something happened. I think what I felt was it locking then, and then it just pulled.
Yeah.
So we're going to go and explore that on the couple of roundabouts that I know and love. Just because I want to feel that. I want to feel a front mechanical diff doing its thing.
I'll have to find out how many times you've been around those roundabouts.
In my car, many more than it's possible to humanly count. I really get the sense all the time that I have to really respect the throttle.
Okay.
That otherwise I'm going to light the front tyres up. It does feel, and I'm not really revving it out. I'm not giving it huge wide throttle openings, but it feels like a quick car.
Yeah,
it feels like a powerful car.
It just once you if you've got the space and you've got the you can legally do so. It will just keep going all the way up to the max. You know, just once it's going, it's off. Yeah. A little pop.
Oh yeah, there we go. God, that shifts, doesn't it?
It goes.
Really shifts.
Yeah. It's very, very different power delivery.
That was, yeah, it is
a lot more, you know, consistent but progressive. You know,
right.
That makes sense.
I now see why people tune my car. That feels
it goes
a lot quicker than it probably is because of the way it delivers the power.
I think it's also that noise as well. It does give that impression of maximum speed. Yeah, but
okay, I did get a sense of something going on then. Oh, okay.
A little bit of torque there. But now if you were to carry on, it would just
no, and I really want to, but you can't.
Yeah.
That sounds so good, and it does. What surprised me, I remember when someone in the Clio Sport forum had one, and I remember saying, doesn't it feel a bit dieselish, the way it's all, you know, torque low down? But that really seems to me like it wants to rev at the top end.
Yeah.
And it seems to pull harder and harder the further it goes.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh yes. Okay.
It just goes and goes.
I see the when you're on it, the heel and towing, it just blends perfectly. The throttle positions, you need to be on the brakes a bit harder.
Sure.
I think that'll be why people, if they do fit pedal spaces to bring the throttle up, it works more when you've actually got some pressure in the brake pedal. It kind of brings everything into line.
Okay.
That really goes.
It feels quick from here.
Okay. Yeah, and from, you know, in terms of, I've got 50 horsepower more, 25 pounds-feet more, and 130 kilos more. I can tell the difference at all. If I drove this blind, didn't know what it was, I drove mine blind, didn't know what it was, I'd say they're, you know, pretty much on a par with each other.
I think for just normal road driving, I don't think you notice the difference as such, but track maybe, I think it would definitely come into it a little bit more. But
I think the traction is the big thing with my car.
Right. Of course,
You know, the traction is a massive thing.
Particularly in the wet, I think. You'll be streets ahead, I think.
Oh, you know what happened earlier on when I just put my foot down in second and the roads were damp and we started getting some front wheel spin. I just never have that thought in my car. It doesn't matter, wet or dry. Even if I've got some steering angle on, you just plant your foot in first. Generally, you just hook up and you're gone. So we're heading to my two favourite roundabouts that we went round earlier on in my RS, because I really want to feel this front diff locking up and helping the car with its traction out of turn. So I'm going to get to go around those a few times in a second. But what can I take from this experience? And same to you, Pete. Thank you very much for letting me drive this today. It's been
good fun.
It's been an eye-opener. This feels so different to how I imagined it would feel. I imagined it would feel heavy, it would feel imprecise, but actually it's really sharp. It does feel a bit last generation, but that's probably because it's last generation. So you can't get away from that. But you don't feel shortchanged at all in terms of how it goes. And once it gets going, I get the 5-cylinder thing now. I'm going to find out in a minute what the front diff is like. Do I like it enough to go and chop my Mark III in for one of these? Reality is, if I sold my car now, well, what We Buy Any Car would give me for my car, which oddly, as the miles have gone up, I keep getting the odd valuation to see what it's worth, but the price is going up. It started off at 23.5, they're now offering me 24.5. So maybe that's the bubble is starting for the Mark III. But if I got 24.5, would I be able to buy this? What's the price of this if you were to sell it, Pete?
This very one, maybe a private sale, I think you'd be looking around about the 19.5 mark. I don't think it'd be any more than that,
But it's standard and mint. Okay, it's got 50,000 miles on it, but it's standard and it's had 2 owners.
2 before me, I'm the 3rd owner.
Oh, okay, 3 owners.
If you count the
standard,
dealership,
and look at the condition of it. This is more than 19k, surely.
Possibly, yeah. Maybe I'll be a bit conservative there, but I think because it's Lux 1, it's not Lux 2.
Oh, okay, and everyone's about spec, isn't it? Rather than just enjoying a car for what you're meant to do in it, which is drive it.
Who would have thought that?
Who cares? Who cares about the spec?
Yeah, so, but even for that, I mean, yeah, it's in terms of cars that depreciate or don't, as the case would be. It's not
at the moment, it's not depreciating that much for you, is it?
No,
it won't go much below 90, even if it had probably 75,000 on it.
No.
That surprises me. That really surprises me. So in theory, okay, if I went to We Buy Any Car tomorrow and got 24 and a half, I could stick 5 in the bank and drive away from somewhere in one of these.
Indeed.
That's quite appealing, you know. But no, I like my Mark 3 far too much.
I think what it offers from you as well, what you get out of it, I think it's just that much. It's just another level, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and I've got a 15-year-old and 10-year-old daughters.
Sure.
So having the back doors, this is part of how I justified it to my wife. Family car, proper family car. Yeah. This would be a bit less, and also if I had one of these, my wife would never, ever stop moaning about these seats and getting in them. The acrobatics you have to do. Yours show no signs of wear, but I think you said they live under a cover most of the time.
They are. I say it's quite nice actually not having them covered up because they are nice seats. But
they are.
There is a bit of
that Alcantara?
Yes, it is. A bit of wear on the outside edge there, but again, you can expect that. I think
really noticeable.
With its use, but it's plastic quite sort of cheap in it.
It's soft touch. It is soft touch. This is soft.
The lower half isn't, but
this has got some leather. You've got. Oh, that surprises me. That's not padded where you rest your elbow.
No.
I've got the luxury of leather in mine, see? High class.
This is all faux carbon as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they did that. That's standard, isn't it?
Yep.
Was this on every single version, or did they have different ones?
Not sure about the base spec one. Lux 1 and 2, I believe, did have something like that. But Lux 2's got something similar, I think, but
fake carbon.
It's a different fascia in the middle or something.
Yeah, that's a shame, that is. Oh, yep, I got a bit of torque steer then. Yep. Just a little twitch.
I think there was a little bit on camera there as well, wasn't there?
Oh, I like that. I haven't had torque steer. Didn't really get it in my Fiesta that much.
Okay.
I used to like the torque steer I get on my Clio Cup. That was all over the place at times. I'm going to gently do this. So if I squeeze. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I felt that. Let's feel this front diff again. So just on the edge of understeer, squeeze the throttle in. That's bizarre. I have never felt that. Not in a front-wheel drive car.
Yeah, we can see the traction control intervening there. I don't know, maybe it did.
Yeah, I did feel it. Okay. Yeah. I should have got a diff in my Fiesta. I should have had a limited slip diff in my Fiesta.
Yeah.
If you've got a Fiesta ST, get a limited slip diff. It will transform your car. So we are back at Goodwood. This, I'm not quite sure how long we've been out, Pete. What does that say? 54 minutes. So I've had almost an hour driving the Mark II.
Just while the cameras are so long.
Yeah, well, they're still all going, aren't they?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, that one at the back is. So here we go, 5-cylinder goodness. Goodwood Tunnel. Let's see what this sounds like. thank you enough for letting me drive this today.
No problem at all. Yeah,
really
pleasure.
do appreciate
My
it.
pleasure.
Motoring icon, motoring legend. I'm sure many people would call it that. I'm not so sure myself. I've loved it. It's a special car.
Yeah.
It sounds incredible. I have to concede that. It sounds far better than I thought it would do.
Okay.
It feels a lot lighter than I thought it would feel. Sharp, it's direct. And what surprised me the most is how keen it is to just keep revving hard, right to the top. So, yeah, this has been a real eye-opener, Pete. Thanks for that.
No problem at all. Yeah, likewise, it's been good to experience it from the driving seat, actually. Yeah.
Well, from the
Sorry,
passenger
from the passenger seat,
seat,
rather. Yeah.
So, the Mark II Focus RS, special car. Nice. But do you sit and let it idle or anything? No.
I think it'd be should be okay. I mean, we took it fairly steady last mile, so a couple of miles. So.
Nice one.
Mark, thank you.
Cheers, Pete. Thank you.
Great day. We got there in the end. We did.
Yeah, we did.